Is Mabel from Hoppers Russel's missing mom from Up? Hey, brother! Oh boy, you guys, Hopper's just at Disney Plus, and we can now finally comb through it frame by frame just the way we like. And this is a crazy movie to comb through, not just because it is in fact a crazy and sometimes unhinged movie, but because there are Easter eggs galore in this one, starting with the very first scene where you see the turtle is named Crush.
So give me some fin. Noggin. Dude.
Probably not, the Crush, because that one is
150, dude, and still young.
But if we're talking Easter eggs, we gotta mention the chalkboard. I mean, my goodness, if any single object has ever confirmed the Pixar theory harder than the chalkboard, I don't know what it is. Like, when I saw that, I literally felt like the animators were winking at us through the film, like, we see you seeing us, Pixar. It's nice to be perceived. But as we watched, we noticed certain similarities between Mabel in Hoppers and Russel in Up. In fact, they were so similar, we started to wonder if they could possibly be related.
Phyllis isn't my mom.
So today, we're gonna find out. Is Mabel Russel's mom? Hey, brother! Look, missing parents in Pixar is practically a trope unto itself. I mean, Ian and Marley from Onward have lost their father. Dory spends her entire installment looking for her parents. Andy from Toy Story's dad is neither present or mentioned at any time. Full video by clicking the card. Arlo loses his dad at the beginning of The Good Dinosaur, and Linguini is the son of the late Chef Gusteau in Ratatouille. And then there's Russel, the young and endearing wilderness explorer who forges the all-too unlikely friendship with the elderly Carl. Carl gets to have the child he never had, and as far as the movie frames it, Russel gets the father figure he never had.
Well, he's away a lot. I don't see him much.
Honestly, it's pretty heartbreaking. I mean, he just wants his dad to come pin the assisting the elderly merit badge on him. And I'm not sure we really get stuck in this narrative much further than that because of how the rest of the story goes. I mean, Russel experiences nature, faces down genuine danger, and ultimately puts on a huge display of bravery and still makes it back in time to receive his next merit badge. But not just any merit badge. The Yelly badge. Highest honor, if you ask me. But I bring all of this up because Russell's relationship with his father seems like the important part of the narrative. And, I mean, not for nothing, it is pretty important. However, we also have a pretty interesting exchange right here when Carl and Russell are discussing his father.
Well, I called, but Phyllis told me I bug him too much.
Phyllis, you call your own mother by her first name?
Phyllis isn't my mom.
Well, that one is interesting, right? Because, like, Russell has his dad. He calls him dad, which means Phyllis must be his stepmother, which means something happened to his mother, and you know who's a bit of a flight risk? That's a rhetorical question. It's Mabel. Mabel is a flight risk, although in this case, I don't actually think that's why she's out of the picture, but don't worry, we'll come back to that in a moment. And I can hear you guys now saying, wait, don't we see Russell's mom, like, at the end? But no, see, I think this is still Phyllis. But when you start taking a closer look at these two characters, the similarities start cropping up like everywhere.
I know you love animals, Mabel, but you bit someone.
I am a wilderness explorer, so I'm a friend to all of nature.
For one, they're both of Asian descent, which is, not the most key shared commonality, obviously, but, it is kind of important here, so check. But from there, you have young Mabel, who is positively obsessed with nature and wildlife, and Russell is a wilderness explorer in Tribe 54, Sweat Lodge 12.
Sweat Lodge 12.
Mabel's grandmother, per the patch on her famous jacket, shows that she is a member of the Beaverton Wildlife Society, so kind of like a grown-up version of a wilderness explorer. But speaking of her grandmother, Mabel has a very close and meaningful relationship with her, which reflects Russell's own quest to help the elderly and his relationship with Carl.
Are you in need of any assistance today, sir?
Which, not to mention, Mabel spends a day helping out a very Carl-like old man for basically nothing in return on a day where every minute counts. Then, of course, there's Mabel fiercely protecting her glade and all the accompanying wildlife, and Russell fiercely defending Kevin from Charles Muntz. Which, speaking of whom, Muntz may actually prove that there is more connecting Russell to this encounter than Carl, even though Russell has no idea who he is.
That's Charles Muntz!
It is? Who's Charles Muntz?
Him!
Charles Muntz is famous for his highly trained dogs. We see that going all the way back to the documentary that Carl is watching as a child. But one improvement to the dog walking and grooming technology that is present during Carl and Russel's encounter is their communicator collars.
Hi there.
Did that dog just say hi there?
Which up until now, we've never really had any major reason to question whether or not Muntz himself just invented these during his pursuit of Kevin. But at the end of Hoppers, after all the Hopper-ing technology is shut down, we see that Dr. Samantha E. Fairfax has quite a few other ideas to keep her busy.
Now I can focus on all my other ideas.
Guys, there's so much to unpack here. Now, the whole board itself, that's how it fits into the Pixar theory. That's a whole different video. Today, we're just doing Mabel and Russel, okay? I promise we'll get to it. But first things first, let's get something out of the way. A113, spotted it, boom. Yes, got it right there. Also, it's her lab number. Y'all gotta take a quick pause right there to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, BetterHelp. School's out for summer! Well, it is for my kids anyway, which means it is pool time, lake days, and backyard cookouts, but sometimes this freedom becomes cleverly disguised plans. Lots and lots of plans. Which, don't get me wrong, for the most part, I love it, but finding yourself overcommitted is also a very real thing, and before long, this relaxing summer can start to feel stressful when it shouldn't. It should just be fun. That's where I think therapy can and does help. Something a busy schedule quickly forgets is priorities, and learning to set boundaries and even decline invitations for other activities, even if what you're saying is, no, I am not busy today, and yes, I want to keep it that way. And this was big for me, whether it was just a fear of missing out or just a baked-in desire to see friends and family. Therapy helped me identify when and how I was just becoming overextended. Gotta have that me time too. So if you're thinking about therapy, consider BetterHelp. They kick things off by using a short questionnaire to understand your needs and match you with the right therapist. And if it's not a good fit, no problem. You can switch anytime. You don't have to say yes to every single thing. Find support in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/super. That's betterhelp.com/super. Link in the description down below. But thing number two, and this is big for two reasons, is the piece of tech that Fairfax is working on right now is talking dog collars. That's the big circled one in the center. Which I mean, like, what the are you serious? You mean to tell me that Carl Muntz, he stole the, well, no, that does sound like him, now that you mention it. Because when you think about it, like, yeah, how did Muntz invent the dog collars? Doug says,
My master made me this collar. He is a good and smart master, and he made me this collar so that I may talk. Squirrel!
But like, how, Doug, how did a guy living in the jungle with no connection to the outside world end up inventing talking dog collars from scratch?
So, how are things stateside, huh? Almost tempted to go back a few times.
Like, don't get me wrong, being an explorer is great and all, but it doesn't also immediately make you good at inventing complicated technology that allows for interspecies communication.
Impossible.
On the other hand, though, we know for sure that Dr. Fairfax had not only the idea for dog collars that would allow them to communicate with us, but also the ideas for dogs to fly planes, an idea she seemed to have talked herself out of, but that Muntz clearly decided
Grade leader, checking in.
Grade 2, checking in.
Grade 3, checking in.
was epic. But so then the question is, how did Muntz get the idea from Dr. Fairfax? And I have to tell you, he pretty much tells us himself.
A surveyor making a map. A botanist cataloging plants.
Do you see where this is headed? Or beheaded, should I say? Dr. Fairfax was one of the explorers who came down either looking for Kevin or just to map the area or collect botany samples. But she, like many others, of course, encountered Charles Muntz, who, as ever, can be quite charming when he wants to be, and so she shows him her idea for the dog collars and the dogs flying planes and helps him make them for the dogs. We know she can do this. She just invented consciousness transfer. However, once she learns what Charles Muntz is really up to, she would obviously be opposed to the hunting of Kevin, like, especially if, you know, Mabel was with her, because, like, there's just no way that Mabel would take that news well, like, at all.
People love highways. They love getting places fast. Today is my day. It's not your day. Well, my mother lives here. I need you to...
Sadly, however, this looks like an adventure where maybe Muntz is the winner and is able to dispose of Fairfax and possibly even Mabel herself.
What?
Can I also point out that in both Up and Hoppers, Pixar did that thing where they kill a really sweet old lady in the first 10 minutes of sad music? Like, why do you keep doing this? But if that's true, if Muntz did that, then it suddenly makes Russel's random addition to the trip to Paradise Falls feel a lot less random, doesn't it? Like, suddenly it's not some freak accident, it's literally fate.
Our fate lives within us. You only have to be brave enough to see it.
But do you see how poetic that is? Dr. Fairfax invents hopping. Mabel uses hopping to save the glade. Then hopping technology gets put to the side so that Dr. Fairfax can work on the other things like the dog collars, which she gives to Muntz, who then uses that technology against them, kills Mabel and Dr. Fairfax, leaving Russel without a mom and just, yeah. But at this point, I bet I know what you're thinking, which is, guys, Up takes place before Hoppers, doesn't it? Like, wouldn't Russel be the older one here, not Mabel?
I'm 19.
Oh, and believe you me, that occurred to us. But here's the real kicker. It is actually extremely difficult to place what year it's supposed to be in Hoppers. And here's the more thing. It should not be hard. You get close-up looks at license plates and 4 separate news websites, all with new articles, none of which list the date of publication. This is super weird for Pixar. They almost always put a year on a newspaper or like a registration number on a license plate. Also, did anyone else catch that Mayor Jerry has a tab open for twin baby horses and that his bedroom was decked out in horse art? Like, why is this? What is his deal with horses? I mean, like, it's not super important or anything. I like horses. I'm just curious because it seems very prevalent and it's sort of a character trait that just, goes unexplained. Although, I mean, there is like at least one other home we visit in the Pixar universe that is decked out in horse stuff and does have a missing dad. Like, oh my God, could Mayor Jerry be? No. I mean, no, because he has the wrong last name, right? But those are changeable. And what's his actual last name? Generoso? I mean, does that not just like reek of a politician who chose his own name? Like, yes, I'm so generous. Generoso.
But I don't talk about that.
No, we're not getting sidetracked here. We're proving different parentage today. Mabel to Russell. Where were we? Oh, right. Timing. Actually, Toy Story does play a bigger role than you might think in placing the year for this movie, which otherwise is just unavailable to us. And yes, I know you could say their smartphones are proof of the movie taking place in present times here in 2026, but this is also a world where like Syndrome existed and invented stuff way ahead of release date. And also in our actual present day, we can't transfer our consciousness into animals, so pick your battles, people. You could also point to Mabel referencing Avatar and say that Avatar came out in 2009, so it has to be at least then.
This is like Avatar. This is nothing like Avatar.
But again, I disagree. First of all, well, honestly, I just think it's hilarious that it is now canonically true that Avatar is a movie inside of the Pixar-verse.
No, that was some mean bush.
But also, again, their tech is just way ahead of ours. I mean, look at the kind of sci-fi movie they were able to make in 1995 with Lightyear, which is another movie that canonically exists inside of the Pixar-verse. This is what sci-fi looked like in 1995 out here in the real world. Okay, so in fairness, that was a clip from the movie Time Masters, which is a movie I have never seen, but man, did it help prove my point. I mean, Star Wars is out by then. That was pretty good. I love Star Wars. Either way, it doesn't matter, because there's actually way more proof that Hoppers actually takes place in, wait for it, 1996. And again, it is from Lightyear. It is Socks, of all characters, that helps us prove it.
I can provide sleep sounds if you like. I have several options. Summer night, ocean paradise, whale calls.
No. White noise is fine.
See, if we go back to the chalkboard, we can also see that Dr. Fairfax has an idea listed out for Socks, the cat. And this was a bit of a puzzler for us because the rest of the things she has ideas for, we know all come to fruition in other Pixar movies. But Socks is just a character in a movie. Like, he's not real.
You are a toy!
Which either means that Dr. Fairfax invented Socks for the movie, or is using the movie as inspiration to build a real Socks. And I'm kind of leaning towards the latter because she's already a woman who is capable of inventing like her own sci-fi technology. Meaning I'm also positive that she is a huge fan of the sci-fi genre and has seen Lightyear, and a year after Lightyear came out in universe would be 1996. Plus, there's one other little detail that helps drive the 1996 year home, and it's actually this tiny little advertisement right here on Jerry's computer for Al's Toy Barn, 75% off. Which you gotta tell you, 75% is a pretty steep discount, which sounds to me a lot like a going out of business sale, which is exactly what's happening to Al at the end of Toy Story 2.
We've got the lowest prices in town. Everything for a buck.
Which takes place in 1996. What I'm trying to get at is that Al's Toy Barn can't be running ads in 2026 because by then it is super out of business. But it is having a sale in 1996 because it's going out of business. Actually, if we go back to those news articles, in one story, Jerry is featured with a group of wilderness survivor scouts who look familiar, but who have differently shaped merit badges, almost as if they're from like a different time period. So what I'm really saying is that if Mabel is indeed Russel's mom, then Up is no longer just about Carl taking Ellie to Paradise Falls. It's also about fate getting justice for Russel, even though he has no idea it's happening.
Who's Charles Muntz?
Him!
Because don't forget, it is Mabel's direct involvement with the hopping technology that leads it to be shelved, so other tech ideas from Dr. Fairfax can start coming to fruition, and everything is going great until they meet Muntz, who adds Russel to the list of characters in Pixar with a dead parent. Plus, age-wise, it works out pretty good too. It would mean that Mabel is 19 in 1996, and Russel is 8 to 9 in Up in 2009. So do the math there, and Mabel would just have to be in her mid-20s, which is perfectly reasonable time to have kids. So guys, what do you think? Is Mabel Russel's mom? And what did you think of Hoppers? It gets a little wild there at the end, but honestly, I really liked it. It was a different direction, but very fun in the end. So yeah, leave your thoughts in the towel section down below. Guys, thanks so much for watching. As always, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you haven't already, and subscribe so you don't miss any future Pixar theories from us. If you want to see whether or not Jesse's Emily is going to show up in Toy Story 5, check out this video right here. Toy Story 5 right around the corner. Cannot wait. Yay, Pixar. Otherwise, don't forget, Ducks Going Cups.